Yo, what's up, peace, man? It's your boy King, NBA 2K19. So I've realized something with this particular play right here. The passing mistakes and the ball going to the receiver that wasn't in, that you didn't intend it to go to. That's tied into passing accuracy. That's not actually the game translating difficulty at all. That goes into the pass accuracy rating and slider. You know what I mean? And I've noticed this because I'm using a re-rated roster, right? This is Tim Smooth's roster. He puts this roster together based off real world numbers, right? So there is a very specific slider set that you have to play with when you're playing with this roster, or else guys are just not gonna play as they should be playing. But I'm running both of those. You know what I mean? And I'm having a blast so far. Because the game at some point is just gonna turn off. It's gonna turn off ratings and disable buttons. And then we're gonna be right back to recording a video talking about translation of difficulty and animations, control, and outcomes. You know what I mean? Like I got so many videos, man, like that I don't even upload because it's just fucking 15 minutes of me just yelling into a mic at 2K. I'm trying to keep these things more, more constructive. But my suggestion to 2K would be get rid of this pass accuracy. Have it work in a different way than it works, because as it is now, pass accuracy actually works. That rating and that slider actually works with intended receivers. So a low pass accuracy means I cannot make this pass to Michael Porter. This is the reason why I went over here to Jokic, because this was icon passing. I passed this with icon passing. Michael Porter is that guy is at the small forward spot, so it's square. I already checked the sub, and I'll go to the substitution menu in a minute to let you know. But he's at the small forward spot, so this is what I realized when I pulled this up. And then I looked at my ratings, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a pass accuracy thing. So this is how they're separate good passes from bad passes. This is not the right way to do it. My suggestion would be have a situation where guys fumble your passes more. They're off the mark. They're not directly on the guy's jersey number. That'll separate good passes from bad passes, because if you have bad passers passing, it'll go to the intended receiver, but it'll be off the mark. That lets that guy can't really thread the needle with passes. He can't really slip passes in cracks like a guy like Chris Paul or John Wall. He can't really, and even Harden to some extent. He wouldn't be able to do stuff like that, because the pass accuracy wouldn't be on point. His pass accuracy wouldn't be on point. So the receiver that the ball is going to, it could go far left, it could go slightly left, it could go slightly up above him. It could be a little too low. It's just so many ways that you could clean that up. But this having the ball go to the wrong receiver, that's not the right way. That's not the right way, because that causes a lot of frustration. Like, it seems like a lot of the stuff that they do in this game really does nothing but cause more frustration, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to find a guy on a cut and just, I see if my back was turned to the guy on the court, like that's something different. I'm not even sure if I would like that, but I would understand that. But just because my pass accuracy is a 70, you know what I mean, that does not mean, that does not mean that I'm just gonna pass the ball to the wrong person. Even as a guy who is looking I'm looking in the right. So if I'm D-Rob, which, ironically, this is my character, but like I'm D-Rob, right? If I'm looking at a direction at the receiver that I want to pass to, I'm not going to make a mistake and pass it to an entirely different receiver. That's just not going to happen. That is not basketball. That is not competence. Nobody's going to do that. I don't give a shit how bad of a passer he is. He's not going to do that. You know what I mean? And this is how they're translating that rating, that pass accuracy rating. This is just a very piss poor way to do it, in my opinion. I actually don't understand why they would do it this way. This actually makes no sense to me. Why would you just have the pass be off the mark to the intended receiver? It could be a little bit left, a little bit right, far left, far right, a little bit high, a little bit low. He could fumble the pass because it's off. There's a lot of different ways you can translate that rating, but then you want to do it in such a way to where the ball goes to the wrong receiver. Jesus, man, like it's some of the decisions that get made on some of these things sometimes are just mind-boggling. Like, but I don't understand that at all. Like that was just so easy to fix. But that's basically what the pass and accuracy slider is, and that's the reason why once you put that, when you put that thing up to 100, that pass accuracy slider, you put that up to 100, you probably make one mistake a game. You know, shit, one mistake every 2 games. I mean, the ball is always going wherever you intended to go once you put that all the way up. And that makes perfect sense because some slider sets that I played on with the pass accuracy higher, I was just noticing like, I'm not really, throwing the ball in the wrong direction. I'm not saying this is something that happened all the damn time, but it happens enough to where you notice it, But yeah, there's a pass accuracy rating and slider. And since I re-rated D-Rob, you know what I mean, and to match up with the ratings that Tim Smooth has on this roster, because a lot of guys are rated based on their percentages. So that might mean a dude is, since he's shooting like bad from the three, he might typically be a good 3-point shooter, but since he's shooting bad this season, he'll have something like a 63 3-pointer, you know what I mean? But that's why it's important if you play with this roster, you have to play on his slider set also, because that'll keep things honest. Just like the jump shot defense strength. The jump shot defense strength, he has it tailored, in such a way to where you play good D, on people, on guys who don't shoot the contested shot too well, they'll miss. But then again, you get a guy like James Harden and he gets hot, just ain't no amount of defense is really gonna do nothing to him. And just like Curry, but then you also gonna have Curry get out here and have some cold games. Like I'm really feeling this roster that I'm playing on. I play on 2 different rosters for 2 different things. Like in my normal seasons, I tend to play on attention to detail, Celtics G's roster, and also what this roster is the badges are gone. Like he took the badges out of the game, but he didn't take them out of the game. He just unequipped them on every player. And I have to say, the game is playing a hell of a lot better since the badges are gone, especially down here when it comes to rebounding and stuff. That is just miles better since the badges are gone. You know what I'm saying? So there are some things that I wish he would have left the badges on, like maybe ankle breaker, because some guys do have the sauce, and some guys can take your shoes right off your feet. You get out there and try to guard them, but it's not like these players aren't really getting to the rim when they can, or good ball handlers can actually handle the ball. And the way these guys are re-rated bad ball handlers or average ball handlers, they easily get picked. They can't get to where they want because that's what ball handling is basically about in real life. Is being able to get to the spots that you want. You need to be able to handle the ball to be able to get to the spots on the court that you want. And people with low ball handling rates, they really can't do that. That's why I say I'm loving this roster, man. But I'm thinking about using it in another separate season. But I'm not gonna start over, because I'm like 60 something games into my Rocket season, man. Like we're damn near the playoffs, man. And it took a while to get back to where that was, man, because I fucking ended up deleting the shit by accident, and I just had to start them games over. But luckily, that was a little, and I had to sim some of those games at the beginning of the year. I always try to start my leagues off at the beginning of the year, despite rosters and shit coming out and updates and shit coming out. I always try to start them early because I want to get through an 82 game season playing as many games as I can. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, man, like this is a hell of a roster, man. I made this video talk about the pass accuracy, but I thought I'd go into the roster and the sliders that I'm using. It's Tim. I'm gonna definitely put those in the description, man. I know I say that shit a lot, but I'm gonna put those in the description because his is not the popular one on the forum on Operation Sports. Celtic G's is, and saying, don't get me wrong, Celtic G's got a great roster too, but Celtic G roster really just does tendencies, jump shots, and stuff like that. It doesn't actually re-rate players. It might, people might get, but what Tim is doing some amazing work with his rosters, man. He redid hot spots to match real life. Everybody has their real playbooks. He like I said, he's done hot spots to match how players are shooting, this season, and he updates it every day, so that's a good one. To me, that's the best roster out there. And a close second is attention to detail Celtics G's roster. But yeah, man. Anyway, man, I now don't want to keep y'all too long. But the pass accuracy, man, the pass accuracy that when the pass is going to the wrong receiver, man, this is really the pass accuracy rating and the slider is the culprit. You know, I made a mistake there. I always felt like, man, the fucking game is cheating. You know, in that aspect, and it cheats in a lot of different aspects, but that's just not one of them. It's that's definitely a pass accuracy issue because I noticed if you put the pass accuracy up to 100, this shit does not happen. So anyway, peace out, peace, man. It's made boy King later.